One.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Creating with Heather. We are in Heather's kitchen, and I want to tell everybody, first of all, Happy Easter, because today is Easter. That's why I'm wearing the festive dress. I'm also going to be using some color today, because we're going to be coloring Easter eggs. But this has so many colors in it, if I splash any on me, it's no big deal. So I don't have my apron on. But I will be putting it on later when we do the painting. So, let me tell you, we're going to be making some deviled eggs, and we're going to be dyeing the Easter eggs a brand new way. Now let me tell you folks, I did not invent this myself. I got it off the internet. I admit it. So, but it is approved by the Food and Drug Administration. I did talk to somebody about that, so you don't have to worry about that. But what you do first of all is start, and I would suggest you put gloves on. I ripped mine, but no big deal, because the dye will color your hands. Now, all you do is we're going to start with a dozen hard-boiled eggs. You let them cool off, then you peel them. And this is what we have here, a dozen hard-boiled eggs. And then you get a simple dye kit that they sell at Walmart or any convenience store. And then we start with cutting the eggs. And let me show you how we're going to do it. We're just going to cut it right in half. Now I use some brown eggs and some white eggs. The brown eggs are harder to peel, and the white make a cleaner cut, but while we're doing the dyeing, we're also going to be making Heather's deviled eggs. So, okay, first we take this out, and we put the yolk in a little bowl, right here. And then I followed the directions on the packages of the dye, and now we are going to dye this part of the egg. And wait till you see when it's done, it's just going to be a colorful little thing. So if you're going to potluck this afternoon or evening, you can bring these. Okay, so I start and I drop one into each color after I do it. And when we get to the deviled egg part, I'll tell you what we need to do to put in that. Now, I got to tell you something. While I'm cutting this, I'm going to share some information about me. My father died when I was young, and my mother had to raise me by herself. My mom and my brother, and you know, my mom's not a great cook. I told you about the plastic chicken, remember? But okay, so my mom worked 2 jobs to take care of us, so I had to do a lot of the cooking for the house. So I learned how to cook, and I took a lot of things from my grandmother's recipe. She was my late great lady dame, Miss Julia Lamar Parrish. She had wonderful recipes, and I've taken some of them from her. But what I was going to say is that we didn't have a lot of money to buy clothes and stuff like that. She would buy us clothes 2 times a year, in spring and fall. And every time I wanted to go to one of those school dances, she'd say, "You can go to the dance, but I can't buy you a dress. Now, if you want me to buy you a sewing machine and some material and you can make your own dresses, then you can have as much as you want." So I did that, and I started making my own clothes. I started making my own food, and that's why I'm such an active, creative person. So, if you're not perfect at this, don't worry about it. Nobody is. But I've been doing this since I was 13, so I've had a lot of practice, okay? Okay, so now that you got all the eggs emptied, now, if you look over here at my eggs, you'll see that I've messed up a couple of them. You know what, don't worry about that, because we can put that in when we make the deviled eggs. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not perfect. If I was, I wouldn't be here anymore, right? Okay, so I'm going to take some more over to put in the dye, and I have all the rainbow colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's all the colors of the rainbow. Now you can rinse them out if you want, and I've rinsed out half of them, the other half I haven't, because I think the dye works better if you don't rinse them out. But you know, then you have pieces of egg and the thing. I don't know. It's however you want to do it. This is your project, so I'm just showing you how to do it, and you can perform it any way you like. Now here's another messed up one, but we're going to put that in with the deviled eggs. And I got a couple more, and since pink is my favorite color, I'm going to do another pink one, another blue one, and another purple one. Okay, now we take this little thing that comes with the kits and we dip them like that. And you want to make sure they're immersed all the way so they can get the full color of the dye. Now it's going to take a few minutes for this, but while we're waiting for that, I'm going to give you my own deviled egg recipe. And this is just from years of making them and people saying, oh, I love these, oh, I like those better, I like those better. So these are the ones that I make now, but you can make your own allowances. Now I have to take my gloves off momentarily to cook, and then I'll be putting them back on again when I take the dyed eggs out. So we just leave those in. You know what, let's take this one. I just broke that one, throw that away. Okay, now we're going to take the eggs that we have in here and we're going to smash them up like this. And this is a good recipe to use, say, if you're going to a potluck or you're going to your church for Easter Sunday. It's great because the eggs are dyed and not the shell. So you can actually look at it and see it, and you're actually doing the egg. So now that I squished these up, I'm putting them in this bigger pan, this pink one, or purple, I'm not sure. You can go out on a limb and say, I like bright colors. I love rainbows. I always have. Ever since my mom took me to see Fantasia, I've been coloring the whole world with color. So, and I like to recycle a lot too. Now, let me show you something else I'm going to do. I'm going to take these eggs that have been broken and smash them, these yolks. I mean, no, not the yolks, the other part. See, I told you I'm not perfect. Okay, and just smash them up, and then we're going to put those in with the other stuff. And then I'm going to mention what ingredients we use, and then I put all those in here. Down in here. Now, if you have a different way of making deviled eggs, by all means, use your own recipe. But I'm just using this, I'm giving you this recipe in case perhaps you don't have one or you've never made them before. Okay, so I put this in the sink. We don't need that anymore. And these are my ingredients I use. I use mayonnaise, doesn't matter what kind. This is my secret weapon. I don't salt anything that I cook, but I use adobe, and adobe does have a teensy bit of salt in it, so that's my big cheater. Then I use lemon pepper, and then I'm going to use a little bit of ranch seasoning and a little bit of cheddar cheese seasoning. Now, since nobody's paying me to advertise their product, I'm not going to tell you where I find them, but you just look online and you'll be able to find them, or you can always, write me or email me, but I guess we haven't gotten to that point yet. And I also have a little pico de gallo salsa. This was made by me at another time, and that's for another show that we'll do down in the future. But anyway, this is just to garnish it on top. Okay, so now that we have everything in the pan, what I do, I don't measure it, ladies. I've been doing it for so many years, I don't measure it. But I just put it around a little squeeze, just to think that it's covered all of it. Now, if I stir it and it's not stirring well, I add more. I never add all of it at once because then I would add too much. So this looks like I did about the right amount. Just a couple of squeezes. And make sure that the eggs are really mashed well. It's very important because then it's lumpy. If you don't like lumpy deviled eggs. Okay, so I'm smashing them really well. You can even use a blender if you want, but to me that takes too long and it's just more cleanup, I like to do things the easy way. Okay, now I'm only going to do a dash of adobe because I don't want it to be too salty. A dash. See that? Okay. Then I'm going to put a little bit of ranch, a little bit of cheddar cheese, and a little bit of lemon pepper. Now, you can put mustard in it if you want, but I'm not sure how it would taste because I really don't prefer mustard. And this is the color of mustard anyway. Now, ladies, I've got to tell you, I don't ever cook without tasting because since I do so many things by heart, I have to see what it tastes like to make sure I didn't put too much or too little of anything. Sometimes I'll put mustard just because it tastes too sweet to me. But, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little taste. That tastes perfect. Okay, now if you taste it and it doesn't taste like it has enough flavor, add a little bit more of the ingredients I told you about. Either add more lemon pepper, add more, you know, a lot of things. So, now that's what we're going to put into the eggs after they get done dyeing. Now I'm going to test the dyeing for just a moment and see if it's done. Okay, the pinks look good. The blues look good. Well, it's supposed to be purple, but anyway. The yellows are okay. Yeah, I think we're about done. I can take them out. Now that's the time that it takes for you to make the deviled eggs. That's how long it took me to dye the eggs. Now, I'm going to put this over here, these back here, so I don't have any mess I have to deal with later. And I'm the kind of person that cleans while I cook because that way you don't have to do a whole bunch of work later. So I just rinse this out, clean it off here, and put it over here. And then I clean off the cutting board, and then I have room to do the rest of the eggs. So I hope you all are having a wonderful and blessed Easter, and that you're enjoying the show. Okay, so now I'm going to take this over here, and I'm going to be bold and take out the eggs. I'm going to first put paper on here so that it can get any drainage. I'm going to put back on my glove to take them out because I don't want to get dye all over my fingers. I might be going to a party myself later on, so you know, gotta be going looking good, right? Can't be wearing a fancy dress and then you got dye all over it. Okay, I put them on backwards. That's retarded. Okay, let me try this again. Alrighty then. You thought this was going to be quick, didn't you? You know what? I think that's the wrong hand. That's why it's not working. Okay, I'll have to do this hand then. I put my rings under so I can get them on without ripping them like I did the other one. And I'm also giving the dye a few more seconds to saturate. Okay, now I'm going to take some paper towels, put them down here, and then I'm going to take the eggs out and put them right here. So it's probably best to move them over here so that I don't have to drip across the kitchen. Okay, right here, and then right here. Okay, and I do them in order of colors. Okay, I'm going to do the yellow first. Now these are going to be kind of light. By the way, I did use 2 packages of dye to do this, not one, because I wanted it to be real nice. I'm turning them upside down like that so they can drain. Okay, and then just set the dye aside and I can deal with that later. Okay, and then we'll get the green ones. And, ooh, see, I left the green ones a little long. They're kind of dark, but that's okay. Okay, then we're gonna put it like that. Okay, that little puppy doesn't want to come out, does it? Okay, let's see. Well, when you can't get it out, you pluck it out, right? Okay, then I'm doing the blue. Okay. And then purple. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Boy, won't your friends be impressed when you show up with colored deviled eggs? Ugh. You know, I'm gonna do this the easy way. Take it out with my gloves. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And then we have the pink. Rinse off my hands. Second. And then we do the pink. And it's a lot of fun to do these, especially even if you're dealing with your children. Oh, kids love stuff like this. My nieces and nephews, they would do it with me all the time. Oh, let's color Easter eggs. Okay, now I'm going to put the put the deviled egg inside the deviled egg case. And what I do is I have a very small spoon. Hopefully I can find it. Okay. Okay, this is small. And I just take a little bit and put it right in here. Now we're not done. We're going to put a little pico de gallo garnish, but first I'm going to put these in here. In. Okay. Oops. And there's another boo-boo. Okay. I'm almost done with the pink ones. And like I said, you can use your own recipe for deviled eggs if you like. You don't have to use my recipe. I just like this recipe because I'm not a big mustard fan, and I like cheese. I like ranch dressing. You can even use ranch dressing with this recipe. Okay, now I'm almost. Now the total time that it took me to do this is what? Maybe an hour? Not an hour today. Today's only a few minutes because I already cooked the eggs. But I cooked the eggs last night. I peeled them and I cut them. And so if you do start from beginning to end, it probably will take you an hour to do it. But it's such an unusual way of making deviled eggs that, you know, people will just be enamored by your creativity. Okay, we're almost done here. I just got a few more. And now you can also add other things, like if you like onions in yours, if you like, let's see, what else was I thinking of? Onions, if you like meat, if you like, I mean, there's 100 million different ways of making deviled eggs. And I've even made them with tuna fish sometimes. I've made deviled eggs. I just mix a whole can of tuna fish in it and make it like that. Now we're almost done. You know what, that one just broke, so I'm gonna just stop right here. Those are breaking, so I'm just gonna end with that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a garnish of pico de gallo. In just a moment. Okay. Still with my gloves on. Here's my salsa slash pico de gallo. First time you make it, it's pico de gallo. Then when you add tomato juice, it turns into salsa. And like I said, that's for another show. Okay, now get a fresh, clean spoon. Actually, I need a fork, not a spoon. Get a nice fork. And again, this is Heather's Kitchen. We're creating Easter eggs, colored Easter deviled eggs. And you just put a little bit of garnish on each egg. Now, if you don't like pico de gallo, you can put curry on top. I don't like curry. Or you can put salt, or you can put pepper. There's a whole number of things you can put on top. I just like salsa. And oh, wait till I start telling you about my Mexican food. I love Mexican food. And we're gonna make some really fun things. Now this pico de gallo does have jalapenos in it. So, don't get me started on Mexican food. Please, I won't stop. Anyway, so now we're at the end, and I'm gonna leave a couple of them blank for people that don't like that type of thing. And here is the final result. It looks a little sloppy, but you know, that's me. That's Heather. That's creating with Heather, you know? And I'm gonna just put a little lemon pepper on a couple of them in case they're too bland. Not too much, just a dash. Yeah. And that's it. Here is your Happy Easter colored eggs and deviled eggs. Happy Easter.